My name is Maria Coryell-Martin, and I'm so glad you're joining me for my Watercolor Essentials Workshop. Before we get started, I want to give you an overview of the supplies that I'm using and also share with you a few warm-ups that I hope you can do in advance of our workshop, just to start to get your hands and eyes working together and play with paint on paper. So please let me know if you have any questions, and I look forward to painting with you very soon. So first off, for paper, you can work in sketchbooks or loose leaf. And one thing I do recommend is using a paper that's at least 90 pound. So here's an example of a mixed media paper I like to sketch with. It's an Aqua B paper. It's called Super Deluxe that is just heavy enough for some watercolor. I also really enjoy moleskin sketchbooks, which I use going out sketching in my Art Toolkit. And another brand I'm really fond of as well are the Stillman & Byrne. This is a Beta 140 pound watercolor, nice bright white. I often work loose leaf, especially in my studio. And for loose leaf, I'll work on either Arches 140 pound cold press, or this is a little less expensive paper that I really like as well. It's called Canson Montval 140 pound cold press. Little less tooth, still plays nice with watercolor washes. Working loose leaf, you might enjoy having support. This is a piece of gator board, kind of like an extra stiff foam core that I'll often tape my papers down. You don't have to tape them, it's optional. When you do tape, you get those nice crisp edges. So you may wish to have a little masking tape. But you certainly, for our workshop, even just a sketchbook will be adequate. Just depends what you prefer working on. So next up, you'll need your watercolor palette. This one's filled with the 6 essential Daniel Smith watercolors. That's Hansa Yellow Light, New Gamboge, Pyrrole Scarlet, Quinacridone Rose, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, and French Ultramarine. Depending on what palette size you're working in, you may enjoy a little extra mixing space. This is the mixing palette that I often use, or you might have something like a yogurt lid or a little extra mixing area. Or maybe you've just also got a larger palette that you prefer to use and other colors, and I'll do my best to share inspiration that's applicable across palettes. Using brushes in this workshop, I'm going to keep things really simple. I'll be demonstrating both with a water brush and some of the basic rosemary travel brushes that we carry to show you the range of marks we can make with a simple round. A few other optional extras you may enjoy having ready. This is an old toothbrush, which these just make fabulous textures with splattering paint on your paper. Also pencil, whether you enjoy analog or automatic. This one is a Pentel Graph Gear 1000, and I just love how that point retracts. And finally, a little eraser. My gum erasers are my favorite, really nice and gentle for removing pencil marks when sketching. Painting in my studio, something else I really appreciate is having multiple containers of water. This gives me a chance to rinse out my brushes, keep them clean, and not have to run to the sink quite so often. Also really helpful are spray misters. So I use these to give my palettes a little spritz to freshen up the paint so it feels a little juicier. This is a larger one I use in my studio, and this is my little pocket mister that I keep in my Art Toolkit. Finally, having some towels, something to wipe your brush on. These are my favorite paper towels. They're called shop towels, available at most hardware stores. They're really durable, last a very long time, nice and soft, and are super helpful for both wiping my brushes and blotting out little bits of color from my paper. Remember, it's about practice, not perfection, getting to know the materials you have. And above all, we're playing and having fun.